Hello, everyone. My name is Shane Osharua Alexander. Today is Monday, January 16th, 2023, and I'm here with Klara Foldys, one of our first pillars in the community discussion of the Tribe of Humankind, the new recorded group circles that I'm holding to talk about the spiritual evolution of our species, where we are, where we're going, what's our highest vision, and how we're going to get there. And I thought it would be fun if we take a minute to drop in with each of our people to learn a little bit about them, get to know them in the individual setting before we see them in the group setting of our shared circle. So today we're here with Klara. And Klara, I'll just let you introduce yourself real quickly about where you're calling from and what brought you to the circle.
Yeah, thank you. I'm calling in from the Black Forest, the edge of the Black Forest in southern Germany. And what brought me to the circle is my own spiritual and mystical journey, really, that has been unfolding over the past few years and has led me to a point where the realization really hit home and sunk into my heart that it is not just about my individual journey, but that my vision and mission and dream lies somewhere way beyond myself and much more in relation to the evolution of humankind and the future of us all.
Ooh, yeah, exciting. Can or would you like to speak a little bit to some of the platforms that you've created and some of the work you're offering right now in the last year or two that's kind of been birthing with your website and your newsletter? And
Yeah, sure. So my background is in graphic design, so I studied graphic design and worked as a designer for a few years. And I came into the whole like business marketing world from the very non-spiritual and very, so to say, normal perspective. And I got really excited about combining these two worlds. So what I started to do was to bring soul basically into branding and into business work. And then it moved even further into practices that I would not have dreamed of doing just maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years ago, where I really moved into channeling soul codes for people. So channeling symbols and language and spoken transmissions, which have really blown my mind over the past few months, especially because what's been coming through is like, I'm 100% trusting what flows through me, and the results for people and what people have responded to me was so beautiful that it was like, for me personally, this beautiful piece of evidence that there is so much more to this world than we can see. And I'm really excited about bringing this into particularly the parts of the system and of our society that seem very disconnected from that, but I think they can get connected. So that is what this is about. And I'm also writing a lot. So that's and one of my newsletters, the Substack I've started, is to really share my authentic voice. And that's also my challenge for this year, is authentic visibility, and really, both on Instagram and on my Substack channel, to really speak my truth and to not water anything down anymore, hold back, and really, fuel this frequency of hope.
Ooh, yeah. Authentic visibility, you said?
Yes.
And fuel the frequency of hope.
Yeah.
I like it. Beautiful. I think in one of our earlier conversations, you spoke to me about what was coming through when you gave people the space to speak about their hopes or their highest visions. Like, could you share with our audience right now a little bit of that? Is maybe what you've witnessed when you hold space for people to step into that area?
Yeah, it's a really beautiful vision that pretty much everyone, I did interviews as well last year, so it was like people I worked with and also interviews I did. And what came through was very much a focus on community and a very common vision that goes beyond the individual. So the
Mm.
collective visions of everyone I spoke to were really in tune and really aligned in this deep dream of living in tune with the earth, with nature, and with each other, and creating communities that truly thrive and not just survive.
Yeah.
And that was really, really beautiful.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're finding that that's like present in most people's psyche, just below the surface, just falling short of a place to speak about it or have someone who's interested in hearing that.
Exactly. And also getting some support when it comes to bringing these visions onto earth and into real life. So I've noticed that many almost don't dare to talk about their biggest dreams and biggest visions and the truest calling of their soul because it feels too big and too different. And
Mm.
I love this idea of really celebrating every person's otherness in that sense and supporting them to bring this into their lives in whichever way or form this is. For many, it is a business. For many, it comes through the vessel of business.
Mhm.
And but for many others, it also comes through on different levels. It can be, there are so many ways aspects of life can become a vessel for a really beautiful future.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Thank you, Clara. So I'd like to connect in with maybe uh, the influences you had growing up, your mother, your father. Like, what was the, would you say, spiritual, religious, political, like environment that you grew up in your house, in like your personal family surroundings? Like, did you have brothers and sisters? Like, what did it look like growing up as Clara?
It was just me, no brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And my parents both self-employed, working from home. So it was quite a secluded, in a way, environment. I grew
Mhm.
up in northern Germany in the countryside. And my family is very non-religious and non-spiritual. So I basically didn't get any input in that sense. So it was almost more a very kind of a pessimistic worldview at times as well. But I found access to the mystery in different ways as a child as well. So I remember when I was about 10 years old and I had to go to like religion classes at school, and I really didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. I also didn't know anything about it because I hadn't grown up with any kind of concept of religion, really. So I decided I want to invent my own religion. I thought, I don't like what they're
Yeah.
doing at school. I'm just going to invent my own. And I called God nature. I
Mhm.
said, I'll make nature God and create something around that. So I created a little book and I wrote all the principles down of how I imagined it. I don't have it anymore. It's such a shame. But that was one of the moments that has really stuck with me, of this decision of like, wait a minute, I'm just gonna, equal nature and God, which I think looking back is really fascinating that as a 10-year-old I was
Yeah.
that. And
Mhm.
I know that many, many times my mom has written journals about me as a child, and she's written down about really existential questions I've asked at a very young age about how am I allowed to be happy if other people are not, and what can I contribute to people's happiness in the world? How can I make the world better? And who was I before this life? Like, what have I brought with me to earth and things like that. So it's quite
Mhm.
interesting. I think there was always a connection there to something beyond the scene, but it took quite a while for it to really surface to the conscious level.
Uh-huh. It's been maturing over the years. Like,
Yes, definitely.
mhm, mhm. Who would you say is your community now?
Now it's I feel like it's soul connections all across the globe. It's really interesting over the past few years. It has, through all trainings I've done in energy work and coaching trainings and also studying abroad. It's the community is really coming from all sorts of places all across the globe. It's really beautiful. And I feel like there's a really deep connection to these people, even though many of them I've never met in person, I've only met online. And
Mhm.
still, it feels like a really beautiful network of souls that feel a connection, that belong together.
Mhm, mhm. And when you hold like your vision of the most ideal future for your life, How do you see us arriving there?
Mm. So for the big picture, I think, and one of the things where I feel I play a role in is really this idea of, and this dream of mine of bringing as many people as possible closer to their soul mission and to really what they have come here for, like what they brought to Earth, what they brought with them, and their role in contributing to co-creating this beautiful future worth living for.
Mhm.
Um, because I feel like I have this vision of this really, yeah, this really beautiful world, of a possibility of a world where people really are, where every single person is aligned with their authentic soul self and with the mission and vision they brought here. And I think when we can communicate that as well, through whichever form it may take, like this could be through our own businesses, but also careers that people have, when they bring that through and dare to speak their soul, so to say, and express that, I think the ripple effect that that will have across the globe is just really beautiful, because I deeply believe that soul in itself is inherently is good. And I
Mhm.
believe that the more people tap into this goodness and into this wisdom and into this beauty that they hold within them, I really think that we can co-create change that is huge, and that we can shift so much more than we can, than our rational minds would like us to believe at times.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, I love it, Klara. Well, thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm really looking forward to the ongoing group conversations that we're creating with other people who are holding these same feelings in their heart, and we're wanting to connect with a greater audience so that we can start to bring these visions into reality and see how we can support each other to begin to create the as Charles Eisenstein says, the more beautiful world that we know is possible, and of his books there. But yeah, I'll say thank you, and we'll bring this interview to a close, and we're going to be releasing a group discussion with three other beautiful people that's going to be released on Saturday, January 21st. So look for that video coming out where we hold this bigger discussion and begin creating something new together. So thank you, Klara.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
We'll be with you again shortly. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.